Morning sun rises over a small African village, vibrant yet divided by class. At the crowded market square, Ao, a poor but beautiful young woman with dusty feet and torn wrapper, walks slowly with a basket of yam. Her clothes are faded, but her eyes hold quiet strength. As she tries to sell her food, the rich women, wives of chiefs, begin to laugh. "Look at her," one sneers. "She wears rags but dreams like a queen. Maybe she'll marry a goat before she marries a man," another adds, and the crowd erupts in cruel laughter. Ao lowers her head but says nothing. She keeps arranging her yams neatly. Her hands shake slightly, but her dignity doesn't break. A little boy throws mud at her basket. It splashes her wrapper. Laughter again. Ao turns slowly and says in a calm voice, "The earth you throw at me may stain my dress, but it will feed your children one day." The laughter fades. For a moment the market falls silent, her quiet courage unsettling them. Then an old woman sitting nearby, Mama Oju, known for her wisdom, calls softly, "Ao, come here, my child." Ao kneels beside her. Mama Oju studies her face. "Don't cry. Life bends, but it doesn't break those with clean hearts. Your time will come, sooner than you think." Ao smiles faintly. "Thank you, Mama. I just want to help my mother eat." As she stands to leave, a royal messenger passes through the market, announcing loudly, "The prince will visit the village festival tonight, to choose a maiden for the palace service." Whispers rush through the market. The same women who mocked Ao now rush to fix their hair, adjust jewelry, and boast about their daughters. Ao watches quietly. She clutches her yam basket tighter, the sun glinting on her skin. The camera lingers on her face, a mix of sadness and a spark of hidden destiny. The moon glows bright over the village, drums echo through the air, fires dance in clay pots, and the scent of roasted meat fills the night. The annual harvest festival has begun. Women wear their best wrappers, beads glistening under firelight. Young men beat drums, children dance around the elders. Ao arrives quietly, wearing a simple white dress her mother mended with love. She stands apart from the crowd, her bare feet dusty but her spirit calm. The same rich women from the market, Chief Aid's wives, notice her and whisper mockingly, "She came dressed like a ghost. Does she think the prince will see her?" Ao ignores them. Her mother's voice echoes in her memory. "Go with your head high, my child. The moonlight shines on all, not just the rich." A loud horn announces the arrival of Prince Dara, the king's only son, tall, confident, dressed in gold and deep blue robes. His guards carry torches that light up the festival ground. Everyone kneels, shouting praises. "Long live the son of the lion. Long live our prince." The prince waves gently, smiling. But his eyes scan the crowd with quiet curiosity. As maidens line up to offer gifts, necklaces, fruits, flowers, Ao stands at the end, holding her small basket of yam wrapped in banana leaves. One of the guards sneers, "Move aside, poor girl. The prince has no time for scraps." Before Ao can speak, Prince Dara raises his hand. "Let her come forward." A hush falls. The crowd parts as Ao steps forward, trembling slightly but keeping her gaze steady. She kneels and presents the basket. "My lord, I have no gold or silk. Only these yams, the fruit of my hands." The prince looks at her hands, rough, strong, and honest. He smiles faintly. A gift from the earth is greater than gold. The rich women exchange angry looks. Then, as drums roll, the prince takes one yam from the basket and lifts it. "Let the gods bless the humble heart. From tonight, she will serve in the royal palace." The crowd gasps. Ao freezes, her lips parting in disbelief. The same women who mocked her now bow low, whispering in shame. Mama Oju from a distance nods knowingly. "Didn't I tell you, child? The earth remembers the one who sows with kindness." The prince offers his hand to Ao, helping her rise. Firelight flickers on their faces, his royal calm meeting her quiet amazement. As they walk toward the palace carriage, villagers murmur in awe. Some clap, some gossip, some stare in disbelief. Ao glances back once at the market women. Her eyes say everything, not pride but grace. The drums fade as the royal carriage door closes behind her. The royal carriage rolls through the moonlit forest road, wheels crunching softly over the gravel. Inside, Ao sits stiffly, her fingers gripping the edge of the seat. She has never been this far from her village before. Through the small window, she catches glimpses of the royal palace glowing in the distance. A massive structure carved from white stone and gold accents, its torches flickering like stars. The sound of drums and chants echoes faintly, welcoming the prince back. Her heart beats fast, half fear, half wonder. Prince Dara, sitting opposite her, notices her trembling hands. "Do not fear. No harm will come to you here," he says gently. Ao lowers her eyes. "My prince, I do not belong in such a place." He smiles. "The gods choose where each of us belongs. Sometimes they lift the humble to remind kings of grace." The carriage stops before the grand palace gate. 2 golden statues of lions guard the entrance. Palace maids in bright attires rush out, kneeling as the prince steps down. When Ao steps out, whispers start immediately. "Who is she? That girl?" "The prince brought her himself. She looks like a servant." The prince ignores them and says firmly, "Prepare a room for her in the maids' quarters. She will begin her duties tomorrow." The maids bow and lead Ao through wide marble corridors filled with murals of ancient kings. Every step echoes loudly, reminding her of how small she feels in this world of power. They pass through the palace courtyard, where fountains spill moonlit water and white peacocks walk gracefully. Ao can hardly believe such beauty exists. One of the older maids, Aya Raid, whispers kindly, "Keep your head down and your hands busy, child." The palace is full of eyes and tongues. That night, in her small room near the servants' hall, Ao sits by the window looking out at the courtyard. The stars are brighter here, but her heart feels heavy. She touches the small beaded necklace her mother gave her and whispers, "Mama, I don't know what the gods have planned, but I will not bring shame to our name." From the courtyard below, she hears soft music, flutes and talking drums, echoing from the prince's chamber. Unknown to her, Prince Dara stands at his balcony, looking out at the same stars. His thoughts linger on the quiet girl with the humble gift. He turns to his guard. "Find out who she truly is." The night wind carries the faint scent of river water and yam, a reminder of the humble home Ao left behind. In the distance, a low rumble of thunder rolls, as if the heavens themselves sense that destiny has just begun to shift. Morning rises gently over the royal palace, bathing the walls in gold. Birds sing from the rafters and the smell of fresh palm porridge fills the air. Servants hurry through the halls carrying trays and baskets, the rhythm of royal life beginning anew. Ao, dressed now in the simple brown attire of palace servants, moves quietly among them. Her eyes are full of wonder but her steps careful. She carries a jug of water, watching and learning how to serve, bow and speak in the king's court. Everywhere she walks, whispers follow. "That's the girl the prince brought last night. They say she's a market girl. The prince spoke for her, imagine that." Ao pretends not to hear, though every word pricks her heart like a thorn. When she enters the royal dining hall, she stops. The beauty stuns her. Long carved wooden tables, golden plates, ivory chairs and curtains that sway like clouds. The queen mother, majestic and proud, sits with her daughters and royal ladies, drinking morning tea. The queen mother glances at Ao with cold curiosity. "You there, new girl, what is your name?" Ao bows deeply. "Ao, my queen." The queen studies her quietly. "You are the one my son brought from the festival?" "Yes, my queen," Ao answers softly. A murmur runs through the women at the table. One of the princesses, Lady Bimp, smirks. Perhaps the prince wishes to start a charity for the poor. Laughter ripples around the table, sharp and cruel. Ao lowers her head, gripping the jug tightly to hide her shaking hands. The queen mother raises her hand to silence them, her voice calm but cutting. "Remember, the gods often hide their treasures in clay pots. Let her prove her worth before you judge." That simple statement hushes the room, but the poison of envy has already begun to flow. Later, as Ao sweeps the courtyard, 2 palace maids, Saad and Titi, approach her with sly smiles. "So, you think you are special because the prince spoke to you? Be careful, village girl. The palace can swallow you whole." Ao keeps silent, focusing on her broom. Her heart races but she refuses to fight back. From the balcony above, unseen by all, Prince Dara watches. He notices her silence, her patience. There's something about her calm that disarms him. He murmurs to his guard. She carries herself like one who has known sorrow but not defeat. That evening, Ao helps serve food in the royal dining chamber. She moves gracefully, her eyes lowered. The queen mother observes her quietly. When Ao pours wine into the prince's goblet, their eyes meet for a brief moment. Time slows, a flicker of something unspoken passes between them. Respect, curiosity, perhaps even destiny. But from across the room, Lady Bimp notices the exchange. Her hand tightens around her cup, jealousy flashing in her eyes. As night falls, thunder growls again beyond the palace walls, faint but deep. A storm brews not just in the sky, but within the hearts of those who envy her quiet grace. Ao kneels by her small window before sleeping, whispering to the gods. I came here to serve, not to be seen. But if my fate is written in this place, let it be for good, not ruin. Outside, lightning flickers. The palace glows for a moment, then fades into silence. The next morning, the palace hums with restless gossip. Servants whisper behind walls and the queen's daughters exchange knowing looks. Something about the quiet girl from the village has unsettled the air of the royal household. Lady Bimp, the prince's cousin and the most ambitious woman in the court, cannot sleep. She stares into her bronze mirror, her reflection warped by anger. How dare he look at her that way? A girl with mud still on her feet, she hisses. Her maid, a joke, tries to soothe her. My lady, the prince's attention passes like the wind. It will not last. Bimp's voice hardens. No. I have waited years for my chance. The queen herself said I was fit to be queen. No poor girl will steal that from me. She rises, dressing herself in crimson silk and golden beads, each movement sharp with purpose. The morning light gleams on her crown as she walks toward her mother's chamber. Inside, the queen mother sits with her advisors, discussing the upcoming royal festival, the day when the prince must choose a bride to honor the gods of the kingdom. Bimp enters, kneels gracefully and says with careful innocence, Mother, I wish to speak of the girl, Ao. The queen raises a brow. What of her? I only worry, mother. The palace is not safe for strangers. Who knows where she came from? Perhaps she brings misfortune. The queen studies her daughter for a long moment. You speak like the jealous wives of market men, not a princess. Bimp lowers her gaze, pretending to blush. Forgive me, mother. I only wish to protect our house. But her eyes glint like a snake's, her plan already forming. That afternoon she calls her maid, a joke, to the garden. Find out where that girl sleeps. Bring me something she touched, anything. A joke hesitates. My lady, what do you intend? Bimp smiles coldly. Only to show the prince who she truly is. Later, a joke sneaks into the servants' quarters and returns with a small beaded necklace, the one Ao's mother had given her. Bimp holds it up, smirking. Perfect. Let the gods themselves decide her fate. That night, under the pale moonlight, Bimp goes to the palace shrine, where the ancestral spirits are honored. She kneels before the altar and whispers darkly, Spirits of the bloodline, expose the one who doesn't belong. She places the necklace on the altar and pours palm oil over it, chanting softly, words she learned from an old priestess long ago. The wind stirs, the torches flicker, and the room grows cold. Suddenly the necklace flares faintly, a sign the spirits have heard. Bimp smiles triumphantly. By dawn her peace will end. Meanwhile, in her small room, Ao wakes from a strange dream. She sees herself standing by the river, the water glowing gold and voices calling her name. She gasps, touching her neck. The necklace is gone. Her heart pounds. Something is wrong. Outside, a storm begins to brew again, lightning flickering across the palace towers. Bimp stands by her window watching the clouds roll in. Let the storm wash her away, she murmurs. But deep in the sky, thunder answers not in agreement, but in warning. The gods are listening. By evening, the palace is alive with celebration. The king's birthday feast has begun, a grand banquet meant to honor both the throne and the ancestors. Golden torches light up the courtyard, long tables overflow with roasted meat, fruits, and palm wine. The sound of drums, flutes, and laughter fills the air as nobles from every corner of the kingdom gather beneath the shimmering canopies. Ao stands among the servants, carrying trays and pitchers of wine. Her heart is steady, though her mind still stirs with unease. She can feel eyes on her, especially those of Lady Bimp, who sits elegantly beside the queen, her smile thin as a blade. Prince Dara enters dressed in royal blue and gold, the air around him quieting as everyone bows. He moves with calm strength, nodding politely as nobles greet him. But when his gaze drifts across the hall and lands on Ao, a faint warmth touches his expression. Bimp notices. Her fingers tighten around her cup. The queen rises, her voice echoing through the chamber. Tonight we celebrate our king, our people, and the blessings of the gods. Let no heart hold envy and no cup carry deceit. As servants move through the crowd, filling goblets, a joke slips quietly through the shadows. Hidden beneath her sleeve is a small packet of white powder, the charm Lady Bimp gave her. When the prince's cup is filled, Bimp had whispered earlier, pour this into the girl's wine. Let her disgrace herself before them all. But in the chaos of the feast, A joke becomes confused. The same gold cups are everywhere. She hesitates, then quickly empties the powder into one, and places it before the king instead. Moments later, Ao steps forward to refill the king's cup, unaware of what has been done. The queen smiles at her. You serve with grace, child. Ao bows deeply, her heart swelling with gratitude. The king raises his cup and declares, May the gods bless this house. He drinks deeply. A few seconds later, silence. Then suddenly the king's hand trembles. His face twists in pain. The cup crashes to the floor. Gasps fill the hall. Father! The prince shouts, rushing forward. Chaos erupts. Nobles screaming, servants dropping trays, guards rushing in. Ao freezes, her breath caught in her throat. She doesn't understand. Her hands shake, eyes wide with fear. Bimp stands slowly, pretending to look horrified. It's her. The servant girl. I saw her pour it. All eyes turn toward Ao. The queen mother's face turns cold. What have you done? Tears spring to Ao's eyes. I swear, my queen, I did nothing. I would never harm the king. Prince Dara looks between her and his father, confusion and dread in his eyes. No, she couldn't. But the guards have already seized her. The king collapses, his breathing heavy. He is alive but barely. The royal healer rushes in, shouting for herbs and water. As they carry the king away, the hall fills with whispers. The poor girl poisoned him. The prince was bewitched. She came from nowhere, now look. The queen's voice cuts through the noise. Take her to the dungeons. Let the ancestors decide her fate. Bimp lowers her head to hide her smile. Ao is dragged away, tears streaking down her cheeks, her heart breaking under the weight of lies. As she passes the prince, their eyes meet. For the first time, words fail him. But in his gaze burns a promise. I will find the truth. Outside, the storm that had been waiting all day finally breaks. Thunder crashes and rain pours down over the palace, as if the heavens themselves mourn what has begun. The rain lashes against the palace walls like 1,000 grieving spirits. In the darkness beneath the grand halls, Ao sits shivering in the royal dungeon, a damp, narrow cell lit by a single flickering torch. Chains clink softly at her ankles, the cold stone biting into her skin. Her once white servant dress is now streaked with mud and tears. Every breath she takes carries the scent of wet earth and despair. Outside the iron bars, two guards murmur to each other. Such a pity, one says. She looked innocent. Innocent, the other scoffs. She came from nowhere. These village girls are full of tricks. Their laughter echoes faintly as they leave her in the dark. Ao curls into herself, whispering through trembling lips, I did nothing. By the gods, I swear I did nothing. Her tears fall silently, joining the puddles on the floor. But amidst her despair, a faint sound reaches her, a soft humming, distant but clear. She lifts her head. The melody floats through the walls, ancient and haunting. It sounds like the same song her mother used to sing by the river. She rises weakly, pressing her ear to the cold stone. The humming grows louder, almost calling her name. Ao, Ao. Her heart pounds. Mama, she whispers. The torch flickers wildly and suddenly the air in the cell changes, warmer, lighter, almost shimmering. From the shadows at the far end of the cell, a faint golden mist begins to form. Slowly, it takes the shape of a woman wrapped in light, her eyes kind and knowing. Ao gasps, falling to her knees. Who are you? The spirit smiles gently. I am Alakin's messenger, the voice of the river that never forgets. You were cast into darkness, but the waters still remember your heart. Tears stream down Ao's face. They say I poisoned the king. I swear I didn't. Please help me. The spirit kneels before her, brushing a ghostly hand across her cheek. The truth is like the river, you can dam it, but it always finds its way. The golden mist ripples, surrounding Ao's wrists and ankles. When it fades, the chains fall away with a soft clatter. She stares, trembling. Why are you helping me? Because the gods have chosen you to reveal deceit. Rise, child of the earth. Your suffering will awaken truth. The spirit begins to fade, leaving behind a faint shimmer of light that glows on Ao's skin, a mark of divine protection. As the last echo of the voice fades, the dungeon door creaks open. Ao steps forward, barefoot and shaking, but no guard stops her. The entire corridor is empty, the rain roaring louder above. She moves like someone half dreaming, her steps guided by unseen hands. The glow on her skin lights her way through the dark corridors until she emerges into the open courtyard, soaked in rain but free. Lightning splits the sky, illuminating her face, no longer filled with fear but quiet determination. High above, Prince Dara stands on his balcony staring at the storm. He sees a figure walking across the courtyard, barefoot, drenched, shining faintly under the lightning. His heart skips. "It can't be," he whispers. She stops in the rain, lifts her head toward the heavens and whispers to the wind, "I will not let lies win. Let the truth rise before dawn." The thunder answers like a drum of destiny. The first hints of dawn color the storm clouds in pale gold. The palace courtyard is still wet from the night's rain, the air heavy with silence. But inside the royal hall, chaos brews. Guards rush about, voices raised. Servants whisper in fear. At the center of it all, the king sits on his throne, pale and trembling, his strength fading after the night's illness. Beside him stands the jealous queen, Amira, her face calm but her eyes darting with unease. "Who would dare poison the king's cup?" one elder cries. "It must have been the servant girl," another declares. Amira presses a hand to her heart, feigning sorrow. "Yes, that poor village girl. I warned you, my king, she was never meant for the palace." The king weakly raises a hand. "Enough. Bring her to me." But before any guard can move, the great doors burst open. Ao enters. The crowd gasps. She stands drenched, barefoot, her torn dress clinging to her skin, yet there is a glow upon her face, faint but unmistakable. Her eyes, once filled with fear, now burn with quiet strength. "You." Amira breathes, stepping back. "You escaped." Ao's voice is steady. "I did not escape. The river released me." Every whisper in the hall fades into silence. Even the torches flicker as if listening. She walks slowly toward the king, her gaze unwavering. "My king, I was accused of betrayal, but I have nothing to hide. Last night, when your cup was served, I saw her," she points to Amira, "add something to the drink." The queen lets out a sharp laugh. "Lies. This wretched girl seeks to save her life by throwing dirt at me." Ao kneels before the king. "Then let the truth reveal itself. Call for the royal seer. Let him speak before the gods." The hall murmurs in agreement. The king nods weakly. "Bring the seer." Moments later, the royal seer, a tall, white-bearded man draped in deep blue robes, enters the hall. His eyes are covered with a thin cloth, blind to the world but not to the spirits. He carries a calabash bowl filled with river water and white cowrie shells. He places it before the king, chanting softly. The air thickens with energy, even the flames seem to bend toward the bowl. He dips his hand into the water, then points toward Ao. "Daughter of the earth, place your hand in the river's reflection." Ao obeys. The water glows softly. Then the seer turns toward the queen. "Now you." Amira hesitates, her hand trembling. But under the court's gaze, she steps forward and touches the water. Instantly the bowl hisses. The clear water turns black. Gasps fill the room. The seer's voice deepens, echoing like thunder. "The river rejects deceit. The poison came from the hand of the queen." Amira's face drains of color. "No. It's a trick." But before she can finish, the king slams his staff down. "Enough. You have brought shame and sickness upon this palace." He rises, struggling but furious. "Ao, you spoke truth while I doubted you. The gods themselves have proven your innocence." Amira collapses, her crown slipping from her head. The guards drag her away as her cries echo through the hall. Ao remains kneeling, tears of relief streaming down her face. The seer bows deeply to her. "The spirits chose you because your heart is pure. You walked through the river of death, yet the waters carried you back." The king steps down from his throne and lifts Ao to her feet. "From this day forward, you are no servant. The palace shall honor you as one who was tested by the gods." As the first rays of sunlight pierce the windows, they fall upon Ao's face, washing away the shadows of her suffering. The guards kneel. The servants bow. The hall, once filled with suspicion, now hums with awe. And somewhere beyond the palace walls, the river flows softly, whispering her name. The sun has fully risen now, washing the palace in warm gold. The chaos of the night has faded, replaced by quiet awe. Servants whisper to one another, not in fear this time but in reverence. Ao, the once poor village girl who had been mocked, accused, and thrown into the river, now stands in the palace courtyard. Her torn garments have been replaced by a simple but elegant royal cloth, soft white with gold edges, a symbol of purity and truth. The king, weak but alive, is helped to his feet. His eyes never leave Ao. "I wronged you," he says, his voice filled with remorse. "You were sent here by the spirits and I was blind." Ao bows deeply. "My king, I seek no throne, no riches, only peace." The truth is enough reward. But the royal seer, standing nearby, raises his hand. The river does not return what it does not wish to bless. The girl has walked between death and life. Her spirit now carries the protection of the ancestors. The elders murmur in agreement. She must not leave the palace, one says. She is the one who saved our king. The king nods solemnly. Then it shall be so. From this day, Ao shall be honored as the keeper of the river's blessing. Drums sound softly, deep, rhythmic, sacred. Palace maidens come forward with beads of coral and ivory, placing them gently around Ao's wrists and neck. She flinches at first and used to such attention but then allows it, her eyes distant, filled with quiet wonder. Ao's mother, who has traveled from their humble village after hearing rumors of her daughter's return, pushes through the crowd. Her hands tremble as she reaches Ao. My child, they said you were dead. Ao turns, tears welling in her eyes. The river gave me back to you, Mama. They embrace tightly. The crowd watches in silence, even the guards bow their heads. The king himself averts his eyes, humbled by the power of a mother's love. Then from the far end of the courtyard the royal prince, tall, kind-eyed and dressed in warrior gold, approaches. He has been watching all along, his gaze filled with admiration and regret. You saved my father's life, he says quietly. And yet you ask for nothing in return. Ao smiles faintly. Because truth needs no reward. He steps closer, his tone softer now. Then let my gratitude be your gift. Stay here, Ao, not as a servant, not as a symbol, but as someone worthy of love. The courtyard falls silent again. The wind moves through the palm trees, carrying with it the scent of river water and new beginnings. Ao looks at him, truly looks, and in that moment the pain of her past seems to fade. If the spirits will it, she whispers, then let the river guide our paths. The drums swell louder. The people cheer. The old women begin to sing, a haunting, melodic praise song that echoes through the palace walls. She who fell into the river rose with the dawn. She who was cast out returned as the chosen one. The king raises his staff. Let this day be remembered. From this dawn forward, the river's child shall never be forgotten. The camera would slowly rise, showing the palace shining under the morning sun. Ao standing at its center, her white dress fluttering in the breeze, the river shimmering in the distance like a mirror of heaven. Tone, triumphant, emotional, sacred, redemptive. Visual mood, warm sunrise glow, golden palace light, slow drumbeats, tears and smiles blending, a perfect ending of grace after storm.